Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Well, another new brand for the channel. It's always cool to see a new brand and check out new knives, and this time we are checking out something from Molsect. Now, I want to start out by saying, you know, I've heard in some of the chats and stuff I'm in, I've heard some sort of, we'll just say, disparaging words about Molsect. So, I hadn't really pursued anything a whole lot, bought anything. And then they reached out to me and said, hey, we've got a couple of knives we want to send to you to check out. I'm like, very good. Let's do it. So the first one we're going to check out is this guy. This is the Orbit. And you're talking G10, 14C28N. We've got a little bit of billboarding going on there on the clip. It's okay. I mean, kind of looks a little bit cleaner without it. Glad it's not on the blade. We'll just say that. And, I always say that too. Does the billboarding affect how the knife operates? Not at all. It's just an aesthetics thing. It's just how it looks, and I get it. So, prefer not to have it. It just looks better, looks cleaner, but it's there, so no big deal. Now, it is not a reversible clip. It is right hand tip-up carry only. So I wished it was reversible, especially on the G10 there. That couldn't have been that much hard to do out the other side, but okay. Not necessarily recessed screws, but we do have pretty much flathead or panhead, flathead screws-ish, panhead, whatever you want to call them. They're low profile, which, okay, I'll give you that. And with what they're selling this knife for, okay, that's not bad either. So, lanyard hole, so we make the lanyard fans happy. Now, overall fit and finish seems to be pretty darn good. It's centered, it's chamfered off, rounded off really nicely. Open construction, so no backspacer on this one. So overall, the fit and finish, the only kind of nitpick I guess I do have is they went flathead. Torx, come on, Torx. We got Torx there. Torx. I guess that's their thing. I know it kind of looks like an eye, kind of looks like a dead bird with the beak. But anyway, sorry. went a little dark there for a minute. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, you do have the logo on this side of the pivot, which that's cool. We always like that, especially Nelly. She likes that. But yeah, Torx. I mean, if you got Torx down here, body screws are Torx, clip screws are Torx, just throw a Torx in the pivot. But anyway. But there again, fit and finish, that is a tiny little nitpick. But anyway. Everything else, as far as the fit and finish, you got the jimping on the front flipper. It's probably aggressive enough to where it needs to be. It's not too sharp or anything like that. Pretty low profile. That's about as crazy as I like to get on my front flippers. These guys doing the low profile ones, they're bringing me into the fold. And as far as flipping, I mean, it doesn't have to be a honking gigantic half-inch long front flipper for it to work just fine. I mean, great leverage, flips very easily. Action is ridiculous on this thing. It drops like crazy. The only thing, I don't know if you can hear it, it's got a little bit of noise in the pivot. Does that really bother me? No, not really. I know it bothers some people. Not really an issue for me. The action is fine. It operates just fine. It's just got a little, I don't know, you can hear the bearings roll. Whatever. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. Might be for somebody. Definitely not for me. But then, like I said, 14C, got a nice sort of fuller going on there, both sides. Hollow ground. Satin finish. No markings on the blade whatsoever, which is good. Well, except for, there you go. You got the 14C on there. But as far as big markings on the blade, it's a nice clean. Got a nice swedge going there on the drop point. Looks good. Overall, it's kind of an odd-looking knife, but I like it. Just because you guys know I like the curves. I like the curves. And, yeah. I like the way it looks. So, zoom out a little bit. We'll do our size comparisons. There you go. Up against the Bug Out. Pretty close. Pretty close. Bug Out might have the blade by just a hair. Yeah, just a hair. I don't even think it's a full 1/8 inch. And then it's got it by about 1/8 of an inch or so on the handle. And then, of course, that's going to make the PM2 definitely a larger knife, for sure. So there you go. Even with it sticking off the edge a little bit, you can tell it's a much bigger knife. We'll get a weight. Where are we at? Start out in grams for our friends across the pond. 105, that should be what, 3.5? 3.6? Well, that's fluid, but you got the idea. Yeah. 3.7. Okay. 3.7. And in the pocket. Goes in the pocket really nicely. Fairly easily. Definitely pretty deep carry. A little bit of peekaboo going on. Coming out. Could be a little bit... Could have just a little bit more oomph in the clip. It's not bad, but it just needs a little bit more to be... Am I concerned about it? No. I just like it to be a little bit more solid. That's all. Open it up. And overall. And I will say for the Orbit, you know, I'm not quite sure where all the disparaging words were coming from. Because I think overall, it's a pretty decent knife. Sure, did I have a couple of little nitpicks? Yeah, the pivot. A little bit of noise in the pivot. Now, with ergos, I can feel the clip. Now, I would definitely understand some people saying that the clip was a hot spot. Because it's borderline for me. I can feel it definitely more than I like to. Yeah, it's borderline a hot spot. It does set up kind of high. If we dove down, you know, these ones that stand high a little bit far out. Now the tip down here, if you'll see that, where it kind of gets me in the fat meaty part of my hand, that's pretty good. That's not too bad at all. It's just that it stands out a little high out here, and that's really where I'm feeling it. So I could definitely understand where somebody would call that a hot spot. You know, I'm almost there. Not quite. I'm not mad at it. I'm slightly annoyed. We'll put it that way. Slightly annoyed. Not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. It does feel, other than that, it does feel pretty darn good in hand. The action is really good. It opens fantastic. The drop is very well. And even that little bit of noise in the pivot, I mean, that's a super hard nitpick. Super hard. And I don't know if that's because, have I had other knives that have done that? Yeah. Has it bothered me? No, not at all. I mean, the knife opens, it closes very nicely. It cuts, it does its job. Yeah, a little bit of noise in the pivot is not going to bother, especially where these are priced at. Comes with a pretty serviceable edge on it. You know, it feels a little toothy. Feels like it's really biting into that paper. So you're probably not going to stand up any magazine paper and do a solid cut down it. You put it on a strop, and you'll hone that edge up a little bit. But came with a pretty serviceable edge. Overall, I'm not mad at it. Am I going to run out and buy one? Probably not. And that's not a knock on the knife. It's just, it's not going to surpass anything in my collection. Let's just put it that way. It just won't. But I don't think it's a bad knife at all. Especially right now on the Molsect website, they're selling for $39.99. Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. For what you get out of this knife, that's a dang good price. They're normally $49.99. It's less than $50. From what I'm seeing from this one, yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. Not mad at it at all. Yeah. Now, I do have the, I do have another one, the Coastline. The Coastline. Now, that one is probably going to get a little bit more of a, I'm still not overly mad at it. But anyway, you'll see the Coastline video. It's got a little bit, I'll have a few little bit more kind of nitpicks with it. But as far as this one, the Orbit, yeah. I think it's a pretty solid knife for what you get, for the money you get. Could you get something better? Sure, probably. Could you get something a lot worse? 110%. So, yeah. If you get one, great. I hope you enjoy it. If you don't, cool. It's all good. And unfortunately, I don't have a code or anything to share with you from Molsect. Maybe I'll see if I can hit them up and maybe get it added before the video goes live. So check down in the description or the comments. I'll try to post it in the comments if I get one. So, but at $39.99, that's a sale price, of course. Like I said, regular price $49.99. I don't think that's bad at all. So, appreciate you guys checking it out with me today. As always, like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.